A local man was honored at a press conference today for saving a life. The splash pad is officially open, and a rollover stuffed up traffic on Loop 306. I'm James Bellini, and this is Live. We'll get to the news in a minute, but first, a quick message from Mammoth Roofing.
Hi, I'm Trisha Lira, third-generation roofer and owner of Mammoth Roofing Services. I love what I do, and what I do is build the world's best roofs. Need financing? I got you. 12 months, 0 interest. I'm Trisha Lira. I want to be your roofer for life.
Starting off the news, San Angelo's Police Chief Travis Griffith and the San Angelo Police Officer Coalition honored Samuel Duran with a life-saving award today at a press conference. Duran pulled over his vehicle when he noticed a juvenile preparing to jump from a bridge and negotiated with them to back away from the edge. Here's the press conference in full.
Hey everybody, I just want to say thank you all for being here. My name is Travis Griffith. I'm Chief of Police here in San Angelo. It's a little warm in here. Our air conditioner is out. We're working through trying to get some stuff going. It's an older building, so we're doing what we can there. Today we wanted to bring forth an amazing story. I think this is what makes San Angelo so incredible, right, is the people. The people of San Angelo is the heart and soul of what it is to be in the Concho Valley. And I tell you what, it just speaks volumes whenever we have people that can step up. So we're going to be presenting a citizen today with a life-saving award. It was on a Tuesday in May of this year. A gentleman by the name of Samuel Duran was just minding his own business, traveling down the road at about 7 o'clock at night. And he told me he was on his way to church, he believes, that night to go to his Bible study. And that day changed for him, though, very quickly. As he was traveling over one of the overpasses that goes over the loop, he found a juvenile that was on the side of the bridge that was preparing to jump. And quickly he was able to realize that this is a big concern. He asked somebody to call 911, and he pulled up across into traffic and started trying to negotiate with the juvenile. He quickly was able to see that this was about to be the end of the road, so to speak, and so he was able to subdue the juvenile before they were able to jump off the rail, and then be able to hold them down. And they had some people that came by and stopped and also helped during that process. And again, I think it just exemplifies San Angelo. And it's amazing because there's a lot of people that drove by that didn't quite notice, or what are they doing, what's going on. Samuel, or Sam as he said I could call him, right? He said that he didn't feel that special, right? And I think it 100% is that special, right? Whenever you can recognize something and be able to really spring into action, right? To say, hey, this is a problem. When other people wouldn't know what to do, he saw exactly what needed to be done and helped save a life. And I think that is amazing. And the San Angelo Police Officers Coalition was able to. Was telling about the story. They said, hey, we want to be involved in this. We want to help add to this for Sam. And so, Sam, if you would go ahead and come up for me real quick.
All right, Sam.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. You come a little closer here, bud. This is a life-saving award right here.
Yes, sir.
And it's for the actions that you took place. There was an extraordinary courage and just amazing, man. So thank you.
Well, I thank you, Chief.
Yes,
Griffin,
sir.
And I thank everybody at the police station.
Yes, sir.
Thomason, he was there, and everybody.
Yeah, and this is a coin you can keep with you. It's a challenge coin that's given on behalf of the San Angelo Police Department to say thank you.
Okay. And I just want to thank.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to give God the glory and honor because He allowed me to be there.
Amen.
Amen. And that's what really matters.
That 100% all glory to the Lord.
Amen.
And I think that again, this is what makes San Angelo great, people. Right here, we're able to, in faith and in service, and in this case, you didn't know you were going to be serving. You jumped right in there and started serving. So thank you. I'm gonna pass the podium over to the San Angelo Police Officers Coalition, the president.
Okay.
No lives.
Samuel,
Yes, sir.
when we heard about this, we were really thankful, and impressed. And you're one of those citizens that just makes our community great. And Our association, we'd like to present you with this plaque and a
Wow,
challenge
that's
plaque.
awesome. That is awesome. I didn't expect this, but I thank God and I thank the city of San Angelo, and especially I thank y'all for doing this, because I wasn't expecting it. And I really don't think I deserve it, but I'll accept it because of y'all and because I want to give God glory.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much, guys. And this is right here, guys. This is what makes an angel wonderful. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of y'all guys, because this is true hero right here. Somebody steps up in the face of it, and all glory to the Lord and everything that we do. And I thank y'all guys for coming, and I appreciate you. God bless.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how many people would stop if they noticed something like that. So thank you, Mr. Duran, for your actions, and San Angelo is grateful for people like you. The Unidad Park Splash Pad officially reopened today at noon and will be open until 8 o'clock. In a Facebook post, the City of San Angelo also announced the hours of operation, which is 8 to 8 daily. Of course, it was announced that there will be a ribbon cutting for the Splash Pad on July 25th, and that is open to the public. And funding for the Kirby Park Splash Pad is underway. So far, about $100,000 has been raised, and work is expected to begin in the fall or winter of this year, with an opening next spring. Have you downloaded the all-new San Angelo Live mobile app yet? It's free and it's the best app in the business. Download it off the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store to stay up to date with news in San Angelo. An electric utility truck rolled over on Loop 306 out next to Quicksand Golf Course today. Around 1:40, the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office issued a nixel informing drivers to avoid the area, as the utility truck was on its side across both northbound lanes, blocking the entire road. Traffic was diverted at FM 388, which pushed everyone either back around down along the Goodfellow or out towards Paint Rock. Around 4 o'clock, however, another nixel was issued that the roadway was clear and Loop 306 is now open. It is unknown if the driver or any passengers were injured in the crash. Into weather, prepare for storms next week. Right now, though, it's 97 degrees outside and the low is 72 tonight. Tomorrow, the clouds will roll in, but not before we hit 100 degrees. Then tomorrow afternoon, we have about a 20% chance of thunderstorms that drops to about 10%, and it will be cloudy tomorrow night. On Sunday, storm chances jump way up to 60%. The high will be 94 and the low will be 70. Sunday night, we have about a 50% chance of storms. And then Monday, it's going to rain with a 90% chance of thunderstorms, a high of 87 and a low of 68. That night, with storm chances dropping to about 60. On Tuesday, thunderstorms are likely again with about a 60% chance and a high of 88. When we come back, the COVER1 Crew had a special guest in studio, as new head coach of the Central Bobcats, Coach Mark Smith, was in for an exclusive interview. But first, a word from the Bass Bunch.
It's our giant tag sale at Jim Bass Cars and Trucks.
Just cutting up tags for our giant tag sale.
Right now, during our giant tag hail sale, you can get a brand new 2024 Nissan Altima for just $19,999.
Don't miss our giant tag sale only at Jim Bass Cars and Trucks, Houston, Hart, and Arden Road, or 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
And welcome back, everybody. This is James Bellini with COVER1. My co-host Ryan Chadwick's here with a very special guest. Chadwick, go ahead and introduce him.
This is the Central Bobcats head football coach, Mark Smith, in his inaugural season with the Bobcats. Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. It's a great summer day. We had some nice cool weather this morning for the workout. So and come visit with you guys a little bit. Always love an opportunity to talk about the Bobcats.
And you just mentioned it. It's summertime, right? Like we're at the point of the summer where we're past that halfway point, and we're getting closer and closer to the start of training camp, or I guess was the old school two-a-days. You know what I mean? But just go ahead and get right into it, Coach. Like you're new to the city, you're new to the program, but you've been here long enough now to where you can start to see something take shape a little bit, right? So just take me through some of the summer program.
It's been a great summer. We just finished week 5, so the UIL allows you 6 weeks to work your guys out in the summertime, and we just finished week 5 today. and one more week next week, and then I give the players the week off after that, and then we start training camp on August the 5th. But there's been some different rules that have changed since the last time I was in high school football, and now with the ability to coach fundamentals and skills and drills and football skill development in the summertime, we've just continued right with our progression from the spring, and without doing spring ball, so we kind of got started there and started implementing offense, defense, kicking game, those things, and we've continued that on through the summer. So through 5 weeks, we've just seen a tremendous amount of growth and development within our players and the understanding of our schemes and what we're going to be doing in the fall. That rule change has been a real game changer for us, and so the participation's been great. We've had over 200 guys out there every day in the course of this summer, and the guys just come with a great work habits. They're ready to work. They love doing the things to be the best football players that they can be, and the investment that they've made has been tremendous, and we're seeing that in all levels. I've got incoming 7th graders as well in this program, so their progression starts out a little bit different than an older player, but the development from week 1 to now has been tremendous. And then we're just zoning in, ready right now with the bullseye is on August 5th, and it'll be here quickly. And the summers just kind of shrink everything down. It's just, every day is a critical day. I tell the guys it's the most important day in the history of San Angelo Central football is today. And we got to make the most of it. This city deserves a winner, and we're going to give them one to be proud of.
All right, Coach, well, let's get into that just a little bit more with that rule change. Now, there wasn't the typical San Angelo Central spring ball this year with the spring game and everything, but you talk about how instrumental that rule change is just to getting the guys ready for the summer. But for the people who don't know out there, what is that difference?
So previously, you would be able to run a 6-week summer program, same time frame, but you were limited to strength and conditioning only, a weight room workout, and then a portion you could come out on the field, but they had to be non-sport specific drills, whether you're running or change of direction or plyometrics, but they couldn't be sport specific. So several years ago, the UIL changed that rule and said now you can coach sport-specific drills and fundamentals within your summer program. You're limited to 2 hours a week of doing that. And so some people choose to do that all in one day. Some people space it out and take a little bit of time every day. And so that's up to each individual school. But, we're doing everything from individual fundamentals to group work where we're doing inside drill and Pascal 7-on-7. And we go 11-on-11. We wear soft shell helmets and mouthpieces and no pads, but we line up and we get after it. And I think it's a great instrument and tool to teach. I think football, at its fundamental basis without pads, is a great way to teach. It teaches players to use their hands, to be able to lock out and to extend. And I think it's a great foundational teaching element, to teach the game. So, in previous years, you weren't allowed to do that. Now you are. So that's what's allowed us to continue with our progression where we left off in the spring. We didn't have spring football, and the main reason for that was staffing. There's a lot of turnover within our staff. I made a lot of changes on both sides of the ball, and in order to get the coaches here, some of them I was able to get here right away, and a lot of them have gotten here this summer. And so without that full staff in place in the spring, I just felt like it was best to hold off on spring football and invest, in some more strength and conditioning during that spring period, and then implement our offense, defense, and kicking game a little bit more heavy in the summer, since you're allowed to do that.
James, do you have anything for Coach?
Yeah, I do. Can you talk about some of the staff you brought in? Did you bring anybody from Oklahoma?
No one came from Oklahoma.
You don't want nobody from Texas, right?
Oh yeah, they're all from Texas. Yeah, these guys. It's a state certification issue too. You got to be certified to teach in the state of Texas. There's a lot of great coaches in the state of Oklahoma. I've enjoyed, coached twice now at the University of Oklahoma. Good people. My son was born there the first time we were there. His birthday's today. Just turned 16 today.
All right,
I know.
There we go.
he's but he's held off on getting his driver's license. He's a little bummed out because his permit was from another state. When you move to Texas, you have to carry your driver's permit for 6 months. So I know. So we got him here spring break and got him that permit immediately, but it won't be until October that he gets that real license. So
keep him out
so
of
he's
trouble.
the roads are safe at least for a few more months. But
That's why you came to Texas.
That's
you want
right.
to keep him off the roads.
Yeah, that's right. But we've just the staff has been wonderful. Hired Wes Cope as our offensive coordinator, and Wes and I have had a long relationship, and it's very well documented. My feelings about him. I think that the biggest quality that attracted me to Wes is from seeing him, is I've seen him win a lot of different ways. I wanted coordinators on both sides of the ball that weren't married to one particular scheme or one structure of lining up on defense. Guys that had experience winning different ways, and I think the high school game really points itself to that, because you're not recruiting players to come to your school. You have who walks into your building, and you've got to be able to fit a scheme to fit the players that you have. So we've got great players and great talent, I think, on both sides of the ball. And then with Wes Cope, and I hired his brother Destry Cope as my defensive coordinator. And Wes has been a head high school coach before, was most recently a longtime offensive coordinator at Keller High School, and I went against him many times. Tried to hire him, as a matter of fact, when at my last high school job, and couldn't get him, but I got him now. And his brother Destry was a longtime defensive coordinator in the Houston area, and both of them, it's just been a really tremendous. I like the friction that it creates, and brothers wanting to compete against one another, but I also like the connection and the bond and the complementary football that it will lead to. I feel like that, there's a formula for winning every game, and what it may look different from week to week. So I think when you have coordinators that are like-minded and on the same page, and we may be ripping on offense one week and struggling on defense, and then the complementary nature that it's required to find the right formula to win that game, or vice versa. Football is funny. You may win one 63-62, and the next week you may have to win it 13-10. That's just this game. And so I really believe in complementary football and kind of being able to play off how the game is going. And I think having those two guys, veteran, experienced guys in those positions, will really benefit this team. We brought a lot of other young coaches in as well, along with that. Roy Garcia is another veteran, came in as our special teams coordinator and offensive line coach, and he's our assistant head coach. And Roy and I have a 28-year relationship. He's been a head coach at El Paso Socorro and a longtime offensive coordinator as well. Got lots of guys with coordinating experience on the staff that may not be coordinating now, but they've done it for years. And I think that's a great asset, when you have a room full of men that are putting together a game plan on offense and defense and kicking game, that you've got a lot of great views on how to do it. So the coaching aspect I feel tremendous about. The player and the buy-in I feel tremendous about. I'm excited. I'm ready to get it kicked off. There's a lot to do between now and then, but I'm excited for August 5th.
Mm-hmm. Now let's just get into last season a little bit. Of course, you weren't here, but it was a program that was in almost every game, but it's almost like they could never take that next step to finally finish a game. Now, that can be demoralizing for the boys just across the board. How have you kind of reignited the fire? Because you said that the attendance has been great. They've been working hard. Like, what do you think it is about turning over that new leaf so the Bobcats will be able to get back to the form they were, even 3 or 4 years ago?
Well, I think that I know Coach Crane here in the past, has had a great history here at this school, and I tell our players, whatever we do, anything that I say or that we do different from before is not anything disparaging on the guy that was here before me. Everyone runs the program the way that they want to, and I hope I'm here a long time, but somebody will hold the keys when I'm done, and they'll do it differently here. So I think that I was able to identify some things that I thought this program needed immediately, and the mental disposition for playing was not what it needed to be. That mental disposition to compete at a high level, no matter what the circumstance was. I feel like that we had a team that was very willing and eager, and when things didn't go their way, and I'm speaking now in terms of like off season. I threw something different on them, or a challenging moment came during an off season workout, and I, really pinpointed some moments where I created this kind of atmosphere because I wanted to see how they responded, and then use that to educate them on what's required to be at our best. And I really like educating through illustrations. So I've got, there's 7 of them now hanging up in my office and in each locker room that we have. And I think illustrations do a great job of telling a story, but a mental preparation and mindset on how to go and compete. And the first one I did was the famous Muhammad Ali Sonny Liston picture where Ali's over the top of him, and it's probably the most iconic sports image of all time. But the backstory behind that, guys, is that that fight took place in Lewiston, Maine, which most people don't know. It was scheduled to take place in the Boston Garden. And there was a struggle 10 days before the fight. The license got pulled. The Boston Garden had just been redone. It was the most glitzy, glamorous place on the East Coast. And Sonny Liston was into that. So was Muhammad Ali. They liked the lights and the glitz and the glam. Well, the fight got moved to Lewiston, Maine, to a youth rec center in Lewiston, Maine. It was a youth ice hockey rink. The fewest amount of people that ever witnessed a heavyweight championship fight saw that fight that day. But the atmosphere changed, okay? Something was different, and then how did that affect their mental disposition going into that? So I used that illustration to let them know Ali had the attitude of anybody, anytime, anywhere, I'll go. And Sonny Liston was about the glitz and the glamour, and he was bummed out when things got changed. And man, now there's not going to be as many people in the stands, and circumstances were different. But how did their mental approach change? And it changed both of them, okay? And then one of them dominated that fight. Into 1 minute into the first round, Sonny Liston's on his back. And so I use those things. That's one example of an illustration that I use to teach the guys about, things will change in a game. There'll be chaos. We may get off to a great start. Well, can we sustain that? Or are we going to relax? We may not get off to a great start. Can we overcome that? Okay. Are we going to say, oh, here it goes again? I think that you have to educate. You have to talk about these moments. And we did talk about some things that happened in this last season, although we don't dwell on that, but we utilize it. I think it's the windshield and the rearview mirror theory. We have to remember what's in that rearview mirror because it's there, but it's also in our past. Our focus has to be on what's in front of us, and we learn from what's behind us, but we keep our focus where it needs to be. And that's been the biggest thing, Ryan, is that mental disposition. But the guys have responded, and I think you have to put them in those pressure situations, and you have to create that kind of environment where, it is chaotic. Some days we turn the music up so it's loud and they can't hear when they're trying to communicate. I tell them that football is never a game that's played in a static environment. It's always going to be chaotic. There's noises, the band's going, the cheerleaders are cheering, there's distraction, there's lights, there's people hollering. Can I zone in and focus on exactly what I need to get the instruction I need to go out and perform? So we create these environments, so we can go be at our best. And I think that was kind of a missing element from the team a year ago. And it's had my full attention through the course of the spring through now.
All right.
James?
Yeah, Coach, I got one for you. You kind of brought up, how the kids responded.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously watched film from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of the kids that stuck out to you on film, and who are some of the kids that have stuck out to you in summer workouts who are going to be those guys? Because you had a young team last year.
We did.
An extremely young team.
Yeah.
So
that was a real appealing part, to me in taking this job. When we decided that we were going to, leave the college game and come back to high school football, and really, just my heart loves this game. We had some options on places to go. And so when it got down to, kind of discussing really what did we want to choose, that was an appealing part about San Angelo, is that we studied the roster. I knew that the best players were young players. And, I think there's great benefit to that. And, they took their lumps with some of these guys. Maybe, when you play with a young team, that's what happens sometimes, and with that many young players that were contributing, to this roster. But we've got great skill. We got great linemen. We've got, a really wide range of people. And I think it takes big guys. It takes fast guys. It takes the medium ones that get it done. But I have been impressed with our roster overall. I see this as, it's not a thin roster. This was not a broken program. It might have looked like that from the outside. in. It's not broken. There's really strength in the alignment between the junior highs and the high school, and then the player pipeline is really strong. I think sometimes it just needs the ship steered in a little bit of a different direction, and so my approach and the way that I do things, I think, is a perfect fit. I think there's a lot of good coaches out there, but it's finding the right coach at the right place at the right time really matters. So we've got a team that is very hungry. I know you ask, for some specific guys in there, and I'm speaking just generally, I
very
really am.
Political.
Yeah, very well, and not that I'm afraid to say any names, but I'm happy with them all. I really am, and there have been guys that have been, we've had the majority of our guys have had 100% attendance, in the summer, and that's a critical piece. And so, I think they'd struggled with that, last year. I saw the numbers of what was turned in, of who showed up in the summer program, and just that alone, the investment that's being made. And we got guys that, they wake up every morning and they're ready to go to work. They know what's at stake and the importance of training and getting the right habits that I need to be, at my best. And, we've got a great season ahead of us, a challenging schedule, and, but we're up for it, and I fully believe this team, it won't surprise me, but I think it will surprise people, when this team has a great deal of success this fall.
Right. Now, that was one thing I said last year was because the Little South are going to return so many good players. As far as Friendship had the Hutchinson brothers, and Marcus Davila from Legacy was a D1 quarterback, and Central just graduated all those guys. I kind of said it was like the Teen Titans taking on the Justice League. I don't know if you get that.
Yeah, I do. I get your analogy.
You're young and you're inexperienced. Yep. You're going against these guys who have all this experience. And you put up a lot of points last year, and it didn't really reflect on the scoreboard, but that had to all be kind of encouraging.
It did. This team could score. It struggled on defense, and I've identified some things why, with that. I think that, defensively here, I feel like that Coach Martin had one arm tied behind his back, and I've talked about our staff with that. I feel like that, we were, this was a very aggressive offensive football team. And, I talked earlier about a formula for winning and complementary football. And I know from watching every game, there was game control that Central had in two other games, complete game control that they lost. I think that they stayed too aggressive offensively and allowed teams when we weren't playing good defense to come back. And again, I think there's two wins there. That game control was secure and lost the game. And I think there were two more that we were on the verge of having game control. I think that there's just a few things away from this team being 5-5 rather than.
I know exactly what four games you're talking about.
Yeah, there were, and that's what I think about. I study that. I'm like, okay, well, and again, people make decisions and run the program the way that they want to, and that's everyone's own choice to do that when you're the head coach. And I just saw that as there was two wins that we had that we gave up, and there's two more that we were about to have game control and that we were in there with. So I think the complementary nature of playing, balanced football and being able to educate your team on this is our formula for winning, and then to have a team that has the mental disposition that's ready to go. I use the example of, man, if you got to win one, 63-62, that score to take that lead, and then that stop. You've given up 62 points, but that stop is critical. Yeah, same thing if it's 10-3.
Right.
Man, we haven't been doing well on offense. It's only or 13-10, but that drive to kick that field goal to win 13-10 is just as critical as the week before when you scored 63 to win. So that mindset that the players have to have, that's how football is these days. You do not see, just teams that are completely dominant from week in and week out and score a lot and don't give up many points. It doesn't happen. Teams are good, they're skilled, they're athletic, they're well coached, and you've got to find that right formula, each week for what it looks like to win.
Now, we spoke a little bit on District 268, just a little bit, but let's get into what your thoughts are on it this coming year, right? So we got a couple of schools who have graduated, a bunch of their top players, mainly Odessa High. They lost a commit to Oklahoma, actually, Davia is now at Purdue, and of course the Hutchinson brothers are gone. James, is one of them still there?
I don't know if one of them still is or not. The
I know
quarterback isn't there
Yeah, the
anymore.
quarterback
and-
graduated,
and,
Right.
One of their receivers, one of their big time receivers, I think Leighton Stone, I think he's gone too.
Yeah, and of course, like he was a real special player. And then, of course, Odessa Permian was another really young team last year that I feel like overperformed what their ceiling was. But
You don't have to talk bad about Permian just because you hate Permian, Chadwick.
I mean,
it's all right.
Permian is a rival for a reason, and I'll just leave it at that. But going into this year, what is your message to your guys? Because I know that coaches are never going to say we have this one particular opponent circled, But like, what is your message to the guys saying, hey, we are not that far off. Like, we can take that step. Like, there is no reason why we can't be in the playoff or district championship conversation.
I completely agree with you, and I have said that to this team that that's what I envision, and then I've told them that it's really going to be up to them on their level of commitment, their level of buy-in, and their level of just having a team that's infected with a bad case of the want tos, and I believe that we're trending in that direction. And as we haven't talked as much about our opponents specifically, as our focus has been on us, and if we can get things right within us, then the rest of it falls in line. Now, we also haven't shied away from the fact that we've got a really good league. I mean, this is a good football league, and there's good teams, there's good coaches, and it's top to bottom, and we've got a really tough non-district schedule as well. We open with a 7th-ranked team in the state of Texas, and I love that. I mean, that excites me. I mean, I love those moments, and I want to be challenged, and I prefer things to be difficult and not easy. And I'm building a team that has that kind of mental disposition as well. That, when it's a little warm outside, we like that. When I got some aches and pains, I enjoy that.
Not to mention, go out there and shock the world, right?
I mean, that's what we will do. That's what I envision, and that's what I plan. And I've had them just envision that. What is it going to look like on this field when they hand us the gold ball for winning the district championship and there's a celebration out here? How's that going to feel? And then and I'm mindful of all the days that lead up to that. When you win championships, you win them in the spring, you win them in the summer, you win them during training camp, you win them with your daily habits and the way that you go to work. And so I do believe this is a team that will compete for championships on a consistent basis. This is a tremendous community, a great school district, great leadership, with a mindset of what do you need to be successful, and then this community that just really is hungry for a winner, and that's a great obligation and responsibility that I have, and I'm going to deliver.
I'll love to hear it, Coach. You got anything else, James?
I do not. I think I think that was a good little talk.
Right. It's
I
what
could
I was
sit here.
talking about. It's been good,
I could sit. I would love to sit in y'all's film room and just listen to y'all talk and just that. I think that there's so much knowledge in there. That would be tremendous.
It's a lot of fun, and I talked to the staff about that this week, and we aren't short on time. We don't need to cut.
No.
We're fine.
So we're doing some things where I've got each coach presenting right now, on their EDDs. We call them everyday drills. What is it that at each position that fundamentally, and in our offense that we're running and our defense, what are each position need to be able to be fundamentally proficient at? So our coaches are presenting those things to the staff right now, in presentations and going over it. And I just think that moments like that are so good in a coach's development. I remember, 24 seasons into it now, the 2 years I spent at Colorado were probably the most growth that I've had as a coach. And it was because of the way our head coach structured it. His name was Carl Durrell, and just an amazing man, amazing football coach. And we would come in after practice every day, and we watched everything that we did good on good. If it was offense versus defense, we watched together as a full staff. Now, everywhere else I'd been, man, you're right separate in your rooms, and offense is here and defense is here, and you're getting right into it. But he took the time to meet, and we did that every day. And it's the head coach holding the clicker, and he's going, and he's asking guys around the room, hey, Ryan, about your running backs, on this particular play and this, what was he thinking here? And at first my mindset was, man, he's trying to catch me, when I'm doing something, wrong, or my guys made a mistake, and I might be quick to be defensive of like, no,
Yeah.
he was thinking this. Yeah. But that's not the point of what he was doing. And I realized it, early on, is that what an opportunity for me to sit and listen. And he may ask, Danny Langsdorf, the quarterback coach there, Danny, what was the quarterback reading here? And I'm sitting in the room and I'm thinking, and this get every position, and I'm learning a ton of football from different perspectives and just hearing it. For 2 years of doing this around him, sometimes you can get in your own little shell and we have a great amount of responsibility in our position groups. And I got to make sure my stuff is good. But to really grow, you've got to get outside of that. And Carl created an atmosphere there at Colorado where it really lent itself to professional growth with coaches. And so I shared that story with my staff. I said, we're going to do this, and go around and we're going to listen to one another. And, if I'm coaching linebackers and the running back coach is talking about an angle he takes out of the backfield on a pass route, that helps me as a linebacker coach. Now I know, what the angle this running back is taking, how he might try to set me up on this Texas route to come back in. We all grow. Mm-hmm. So I think that, that's a big part about team development is also coaching development. And, when you've got coaches that are invested in that process, and I got a group of guys, they're up there now. They're up there all the time. This staff is tremendous. It's the summertime, but also, they all carry that responsibility of we got to get this team ready to go. And they want to be nowhere else but right there, working and getting better. So I'm grateful to be here. Love the staff that I'm around, the players that I'm around, this community, you guys hanging out, a place that cares and wants to talk about football, So I'm grateful. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Coach. Coach, come on, man.
Seriously.
Over here.
You want me to keep going? Yeah.
Absolutely. Keep going.
Keep complimenting.
No, it's one of those things
Yeah.
where you think you know a lot about football, and then you go in and you talk to all these other guys who are different position groups or just different coaches who have seen different stuff, and then you leave with just like, man, I really didn't know that much about football.
We're lifelong learners, No one's got the
That's
market cornered on all football knowledge. So I'm trying to, create that atmosphere within our staff, and grateful to the people I've been around that showed me how to do that.
Yeah, well, we also appreciate you including the media in this a little bit too, because we love talking football. And we
look behind the curtain there a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, but again, this has been Mark Smith, the new head coach of the Central Bobcats football team.
I actually have one more thing. Sorry, Chadwick, didn't mean to. Coach, give the fans one thing to get excited about for this upcoming season.
Oh.
Just sum it up.
The first thing that came to my mind was just pride. And, pride in this city, pride in what San Angelo means. At its core, it is a working class town. And these are people that love and appreciate a winner. And I just want to instill and just reignite, that pride in Bobcat football for everyone that's associated with it, for people that went to school there, played there, and then this community that loves to put on the orange and blue on Friday nights. Just a great deal of pride in the performance that we're going to have this year.
All right. Love it, Coach. Love it, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
All right. Can I do it now?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Again, this has been Mark Smith, ahead of his inaugural season as the Bobcats' new head football coach. Just ahead of two days, guys. We are literally weeks, 2 weeks away?
2 weeks from Monday.
2.5? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it's time. This summer has dragged with no sports, and we need football back in our lives. So, yeah, again, thanks for coming on, Coach. And,
thank you.
We will definitely be looking forward to seeing you more as the season starts. And, back to y'all.
Thank you.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Kano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thanks for watching the Live Daily News Show, the only locally owned news show in the Concho Valley. Go like us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms, and download the San Angelo Live mobile app to stay up to date on news from in and around the Concho Valley. Thanks again, and we'll see you back here next week.